All right, welcome back. So for this first mission in the lead the way mission sets, Gatecrashers, we have this super sweet rolling assault that we do, and we decide to just crash our vehicle into the gate and then hop out, which would just be absolutely awful in real life, but you know, whatever. So we have this building here, we have kind of like an alleyway here, a mini courtyard like here, a little house right here, and then a big courtyard with some open space back here. So what I like to do is just wrap my way around here, stack up onto this breach point, and then go into the house this way and then flow all the way around the map. Again, I have to mention it in every video because people just seem obsessed with telling me how wrong I am all the time. You can go this way, it's fine. You can bisect the map and go this way if you want. I don't give a shit. Just do it right and try to maintain your CQB principles and do your best. But I like to go this way, so that's what we do. I wrap everybody around, maintaining rear security, because the first time I played this mission, a guy fucking wrapped all the way this way, tried shooting us in the back. So I got my cross coverage here on the door, and then this area that leads to the courtyard. Once everybody's in place, as you can see, I bump my dudes out to hold the door while he opens it, and then I push this guy across to pull security on this open doorway so that nobody can come get a weird angle on this guy as he's working the door. While he's doing that, takes down a few baddies. Enter the house just like we've been taught. I bypass this closed door, but that doesn't mean I ignore it. So these two cross coverage on this door and this hallway, then they are about to bump out at the same time, just in case this door's open, so that this guy can handle this problem while this guy works the door. And then once these guys push out and do it, then all this work on this door will happen at the same time as well. Again, you have your guy pulling rear because you have the luxury. If you have the manpower, you should always do it. So as you can see, this guy's pulling the security on that door because you never know when it's going to open, and then I have my two-man teams working these rooms at the same time. This room got cleared really easy. This guy's going to come in, cut left. His support man's going to cut right. As soon as that room's clear, they're just going to fall right back in. Guys pulling security. I got two guys pulling security on this door while we work this top room. And then I bump this man back to pull security rear still. Cuts in, digs his corner. Once it's clear, I push all of them into the room because this is going to be our one room off breach. This isn't something that I taught in my CQB tutorial because it's something I've kind of just started learning and implementing a lot more hardcore recently, is these long, narrow, whether they're hallways or even the ends of rooms or whatever furniture funnels you in. If doors like this force you to like not get a good offset off the door, like how we could have a guy in line with the frame and a guy opening the door right here. If you can't do that well, just do a door charge on it. Do a door charge on it, get your space and distance, because in this game, at least for me personally, I've noticed that maintaining offset and or distance gives your guys a lot more, not necessarily precision and accuracy, but they can just handle things better than if we were all to just stand right up on this door and just open it at the same time. They would just take way more rounds, I've noticed, than if I just bring them out from this room with a little bit of distance, you know. And then if we open this door and there's three guys here ready to just hammer them, I can bump this one guy out, get a peek, and I'll be like, oh fuck, back up, and then throw the grenade instead of just standing in this doorway already like a dick. So that's just kind of a new thing I've been doing. So that's what I'm doing now. This guy in the room is pulling the first man in the room is now pulling the rear security. He can't see this door completely, but once they clear this corner of this hallway, they'll be able to see him just fine. But what happens is somebody comes and tries to open the door while I'm setting a breach charge, which is fine. That's why you have your security man. And then since the door got open, we just immediately roll into it. I have these guys push in and wait just a few seconds for these guys to catch up a little, having my man pull rear. They are again going to bypass the doors in order to push up and pull some better security forward, pulling their cross coverage as usual, and then the rear guys are going to fall into these doors and handle them.
Got one.
I know people, maybe I haven't explained it well enough, but people are like, why would you bypass doors? If I have the front guys stop and deal with this door, then one of two things needs to happen, or one thing needs to happen, or one of two things is going to happen. Either the guys behind the front men are going to have to bump around anyway to pull security, right? Or they are going to get shot if somebody presents themselves at this window, right? Then nobody's pulling security, or somebody runs in on this door and comes around right here. If nobody is pulling security, then while the front guys are working these doors, there's nobody protecting them. So if the door's already closed, instead of having your front guys stop at the door, which you can, really, it's up to you. But I just always have my front man roll past the door because they're gonna have the best situational awareness because they're the front guys, straight to where they need to go to pull their security properly, and then I just have the guys behind them roll straight into the door, if that makes sense. The controls get real wonky there. That was just a me thing. Clears that room, work on this room. That guy's pulling security there, so it's not a big deal. All right, rooms are clear, so we want to make our way outside. This guy immediately takes this door and just pies across the whole way to cover it. These guys are going to push up and then push out. Because this is like an alleyway, you treat it just like a hallway. First guy's going to push out a little, maybe we walk a few steps and then bump across so that second guy can come pick up. Murder, murder, murder. Everybody gets stacked outside.
No tango.
And then we're going to take this little courtyard here. Again, little courtyards, big courtyards, it doesn't matter. We use grenades and flashbangs to deal with the dead space as best we can. And then we attack the problem. As you can see, the grenade does its work. Digs that corner just to be safe. Pies around. This team's gonna push this way to deal with this dead space. As you can see, I still have my front man roll on this window because you never know if there were people all up in this courtyard or this dead space or even in this hallway that ran down, decided to come through the front door and out the back, right? So there could be somebody either maneuvering in this room or just looking through this window because real world, they could hear us out here and just be looking for it, whatever. So he's still gonna roll in that window and then just fall in the stack as they pass him. Flashbang going into that room, and then they're just gonna roll right onto it.
Tango down. Clear.
And now this team is gonna do the same thing in this courtyard. We throw our grenade,
Flag out.
and then we take the angle. I still have my toolman pulling security this way because of this dead space, just in case there's a guy in there that decides to pop out. There is not. We murder the last guy over the propane tank, and we have an easy, happy day. All right, for this next mission, VBIEDs are us. We kind of have this little driveway here, a house down here, the garage is over here, and then the driveway kind of cuts down into this open courtyard here. So we'll push our team into this little alleyway the way we always do. Just splitting the teams to each side.
Got one.
This obviously gets a little weird because this space is so tight, but we just try to apply some of our fundamentals as best we can. And the way that my brain kind of looked at it was I needed a grenade in here because I had to clear this corner and deal with everything that could be down here. So I use this grenade to kind of make this, because there is a window here, make this room not an issue while I'm moving, if that makes sense. So I can focus my attention down here. And what I do is I kind of treat this like a room. I have these guys push up along this wall and they kind of strong wall it so that they can get effective immediate fires down this way. And then I end up pushing these guys along this wall, not all the way, but just enough so that they can kind of get an angle into these windows if they need to, and then just be ready to push where they need to go down here. And then what happens up here is, I don't know if this is the VBIED, but yeah, there's like a secondary explosion that happens. There's a sympathetic detonation that happens on this grenade, and it actually blows this wall open. And it takes me a minute to notice it. You'll see I don't have guys like really dedicated looking this way when the wall blows open. That's just a me thing. I didn't realize it had actually blown it open. Once I realized that, I pushed these guys completely in. But if you do notice that, like, obviously you want to immediately get some guys pulling security this way. Yeah, see, so the whole wall blows open. I don't really notice it because I'm a little hyper focused on this. But as soon as I notice it, I just push these guys in and let these guys start handling this garage. What happens here is I downloaded the mod because on my last stream, actually a few streams ago, somebody told me about it. The doors aren't safe mod, which I really like, because if somebody shoots through a door, I should take rounds. But I've built really bad habits of doing this, standing in the door. I've taught it before, you shouldn't do that. Stand on the frame, even while this guy is opening it. So that is completely a me fuck up. Once again, just AARing ourselves like we did the last video, especially if you have the doors are not cover mod. That is why even in real life we stand on this frame, because most dudes, if they're going to try to shoot, you know, they can obviously shoot at this frame part here, but most dudes just naturally, human nature, whatever it is, they shoot directly at the door. So just having that little bit of offset probably would have saved me from eating a few rounds. And then we open the door. I got two guys here, and then a third one jumps out. And I realized, like, Jesus Christ, there's just too much going on. I need to back this dude the hell off and just use some grenades. So that's something I've explained before. You've always got to be ready to do that. That's another reason you shouldn't just stand in the doorway, even if the door is safe. It's because when that door opens, if you're in line with this frame already, you're not completely standing out like a dick. So, yeah, just don't do that like I was doing. Complacency kills people. Start getting too comfortable and you're like, oh, I got this. You'll start doing stupid shit. So once they get in the house, I have these guys deal with this problem. Not even a problem, just I have these guys finish this garage. So this becomes a left side, right side problem because I need somebody to dig this corner and this corner at the same time. And so what I do is I have these two guys dig their corners, and then this guy rolls in the middle so that he can flex to whatever side may need assistance if they need it. So they're about to do it. Super easy, no issues. So then they just come, pull some security while these guys right here finish this house. Rolls onto that door, gets his diminishing return. I have a guy come pull security on this window. Since we have this open door here, I yeet this grenade into this dead space because this becomes another kind of left side, right side problem. Because I need to attack this open door almost immediately. And honestly, even here, what I should have done was I yeeted that grenade. That grenade's taking care of that corner. I shouldn't have dug the right corner first. I should have dug this way first and got security on this door immediately. But I go right, and what happens is the last guy's in this corner anyway. Also, I'm so used to throwing flashbangs, I just started throwing frag grenades all over the place for funsies. Don't walk into the room before a grenade goes off. I do it with flashbangs, so it was kind of just like a bad habit thing. But yeah, this guy actually eats a little bit of that grenade because it's a fucking grenade. So don't do that either. All right, so for the mission, a quaint little man. We have a little outside walkway on the corner here. We got a decent house here, a little courtyard here, and then I think some more rooms up here. I don't even know what's up here because I end up coming down around this way, and when I come up here, the HVT's like right here, so then I just extract them out. But anyways, we're gonna get our diminishing return. We see some people, so we're gonna lob some flash grenades in the dead space. I wanted them to throw them at the same time. I don't remember why they didn't. I think it was maybe something on my part. It might have been because he was shooting, I don't know, but either way, we throw our bangs, we get in there. And like I said, as with any caveat, you can certainly go this way, it's fine, it doesn't matter. Roll on your window, go through the door, do what you're supposed to do. I just go this way, just cause. So this guy's gonna push up to support a little. This guy is going to do his quick peek pause push. Sees the open door, so we're gonna push out a little just to get better visibility in this hallway. Sees a guy in that room at the same time. We are now gonna push this door while his support man simultaneously rolls onto this window to get eyes in this room to protect these guys as they flow past them. As they flow past him, he just falls into the stack and they push forward. Having these guys pull rear. These two are going to work this door. We see our HVT. I throw a flashbang in anyway because we have it. Push into the room. I leave these two in the hall because since the HVT's right here, all we're going to do is grab him and extract out. So there's no need to push any more further into this house. Unless you just want to kill everybody. That's always cool too. So I had this guy pulling security on the HVT. He also had eyes on the door. These guys start pushing back towards the entrance. Got my guy pulling rear. Still gonna roll back onto this window because as you can see, there was a guy in there. Have this guy pulling rear because we didn't secure any of this stuff.
Got him.
This guy comes up and pushes across just to pull security on this window and this door while our escort and our HVT make our way out.
Clear.
Easy day, easy mission. Don't get much easier than that one. All right, so for fire and maneuver, we have a house in the middle, a bunch of open space on the outside, and then a little shack in the corner here where we're gonna go rescue our hostage. So all we're gonna do is bump this guy out to pull security on the back side of this house long. Then his support guys are gonna push up, and then they're gonna round this fence, and then kind of like a room, he's just gonna dig his corner just to get all this stuff, and then the rest of the team is gonna flow just like urban movement to this breach point. I didn't throw a flashbang just because this is all pretty open, but I mean, you have the equipment, you know, if you want to throw a flashbang over here. Probably should. But either way, digs in there, the rest of the team moves. I had this guy start moving way too soon. He should have gone like in the end of the stack, but again, it's all right. This guy is gonna do his peek pause push, just like we do.
Alarm has been
This guy's just pulling rear. Normally, when a door's open like this, I wouldn't throw a flashbang in, but this is like 3-4 guys that have run out of this room now. So I have this guy pulling security long anyways, and this guy's pulling security rear, so I just take the second to yeet a flashbang in there before we push in. Because as you can see, guys are just dumping out of this house. So we get that one guy stunned. We push our 3 dudes in. There's a shitload of people in this tiny little house.
Finger out!
So we know we have an open door to the right. We have the luxury of seeing this door is closed, but even if we didn't, this is still how I would have done it. We need a flashbang into this room because that's immediately where we're gonna flow. So it just helps us flow in faster and safer. And I push this team to this corner to pull security this way, to this door, and then rear, while these guys work the house.
Clear!
Should have had this guy move a lot sooner since it was a flashbang. I should have had him move like pretty much right when it entered the room, especially because he has so much ground to cover. But I had him lagging a little behind. He gets this quick diminishing return, pushes in. Luckily his support man's there to kill this guy that's coming out of the room. Pushes in, clears it real quick. And push down. Front man goes straight to the window. Rear 2 guys go straight to this door. Get her open. Get our diminishing return. I felt good about that room being cleared, so then I just pushed them to pull security out the window to this rear door that leads to this back door, and then the front door. Pretty much all the entrances. This guy's just pulling security along, and then these guys are going to work this room. Gets his man, we get our diminishing return, and then this little guy trying to hide in this corner gets fucking yeeted and deleted. Mission complete. Alright, so for Safehouse Strike, we've got kind of a alleyway here, and it opens up into a big open area here, and we got a house here to work. So we're gonna do what we always do. I know you guys wanted this step by step, but you guys will see I just do the same thing every mission. Throw grenades to our dead space before we push in.
Watch out!
Front guy digs in, kills his man. This guy here gets weird because what happens is this guy's going to push across because he's pulling security on, as is tradition. And then these guys push in, and I have him looking this way. But this was just kind of a gameism, and I didn't realize, again, I am still new to this game at the end of the day, but I didn't realize that this was like, he was able to walk through this and get behind it, which was blocking his line of sight. But then he was still able to get shot. I don't know, it got weird, but luckily this guy like was able to see him and kill him. But yeah, we start taking some pretty unnecessary rounds right off the rip. Yeah, see, like he's looking at him, but he can't see him because now he's behind this door. And I was very confused. I was like, why the fuck isn't he shooting him? And then when this guy gets shot, as I'm trying to figure out what's happening, he auto turns to him and goes ahead and fucking kills him, thank God. But anyway, that was just a weird gameism thing, so just be careful for these doors, I guess. And then we're going to do our normal thing. We're going to push onto this door. These guys are going to come clear this dead space by just pushing along this wall, getting visibility, and then shooting these guys. These guys roll onto this door. I have this guy start sprinting up so he can get up here as fast as he can to pull his coverage down here. And then we're going to yeet a grenade over here because, again, our first open door is to the left. So I want my first 2 guys to roll in and then kind of take care of this door. And then the supporting guys are going to flow into here. Now, the reason that I am bypassing this open door with my front 2 guys to take care of this open door is because I am yeeting a grenade over here. So it kind of gives me like, it just gives you time, right? Again, like the strike to pass, pass to strike. This gives you time to safely move past this without people going crazy, right? Or shooting you through here at this angle or whatever, because they're dealing with this grenade. So the front 2 guys can come handle this problem that's harder to see. They can get to that faster, and then the supporting guys can roll into here as the effects of the grenade wear off and then handle anything that could be over there. So the front guys are rolling in. As you can hear, that did get somebody. And then these guys are immediately flowing in to secure it. now that the grenade has done its job. This guy gets his nice angle on this door with his distance. We yeet a grenade in there. Luckily, there was a tertiary explosion here. Luckily, you can't die walking into fire. This is something that probably should kill me, but it doesn't, so whatever. But yeah, I had these guys rolling in by the time I realized there was like a full-blown fire going on, and I kind of just let it happen because I didn't know what was going to happen. I wanted to see if it was going to kill me, but nothing happens, so, you know, that's cool, I guess. Maybe if there's a mod that makes that actually kill you, I'll download that too, because I've been downloading all the mods that kind of make the environment more dangerous, like the doors aren't protection one and shit. But I let these guys kind of just finish this room out, and then security on the window, security on the door. Honestly, I probably should have pushed this guy up here and pulled security on this door, but I ended up just having all of them pull security this way.
Come here.
So 2 guys are working this door. This guy's pulling security down this hallway. These guys move at the same time as always because they're in line plating each other, right, from any threat that can present itself, and this guy's going to use a flashbang in. They are going to clear the room. It is clear. We immediately push to this door.
Got one.
We don't get a diminishing return, we just get in line with this door frame. He ends up seeing somebody and kills him, but this guy starts throwing a flashbang in at the same time. Once he throws his flashbang in, we get our quick diminishing return, dig that corner, murder that dude,
Good job.
and seize the day.
Complete.
Alright, for Hasan has it all. We got a little courtyard here, a big, I think this is more of like a warehouse, but it's a big open area here, and then we have kind of a house here. So all we do is we punch our 2 guys out to get their diminishing returns on this door together. Guy opens the door, move to our breach point. Front man pulling security on the door. In this case, I give him a secondary support man because it is a double door, and I'm kind of like trying to figure out how I want to handle it depending on what it looks like when I open it. But you can just throw him in this stack too. It doesn't matter. So we got our first guy. I have this single team just flow straight into the open door, and then I have the 2 guys go straight to the closed door. They pull their cross coverage. I have them open at the same time. This one needed the crowbar though, because I'm really bad about not bringing actual breaching equipment right now. For some reason, I just get super grenade crazy and I don't even bring anybody with any real breaching equipment. This is what happens when you start playing around and fucking off in the game. But anyways, he's using his crowbar, which obviously takes a while. What happens is this guy opens this door. I've been making a lot of mistakes, which is okay. We're just going to talk about them. So this guy opens the door, and I kind of just sit there and wait for this one to get open, which I shouldn't do. As soon as this one's open, I should just attack it, get in, and get out of the way of this one, because all I'm doing is waiting for this to open and allow another unnecessary angle on these guys at the same time. Even though like the plan is to body bunker each other and all that stuff, you still don't want to unnecessarily give angles, right? Now, if this door would have opened right away, I absolutely want them to attack it at the same time and plate each other, because I want to get out of this hallway before this door opens, right? It's more about getting out of the hallway. But because this one's going to lag behind anyway, I need to just go ahead and get these guys out of the hallway and unexpose them to this next angle that's going to open. But I don't do that, so it's fine. I just sit here and wait like a jackass.
Figure out.
I finally decide I should probably just get in this room, so I throw the flashbang in.
Flash out.
And this door opens, so I decide to throw that flashbang. I absolutely should have just waited because I've already waited this long. I should have just waited for this to go off and had these guys go at the same time so they could plate each other. I didn't. Again, it was just bad decision making all around. And see, this is why now we have a situation where the room's clear. I try coming back out of it to get out of the room, and now I'm getting shot from here. You know, I should have, like I said, just learning points, boys. That door opens, just get the hell in this room, and then let these guys work this room, and then we can worry about coming out here and dealing with this. But it is what it is. It happened. So I need these guys to get across this open doorway. So these guys are going to push across, and this guy's going to try to kind of plate him across as he goes.
Clear.
All right, now we're all on the safe side of this open danger area. Open the doors, punch into this hallway. The right guys pull security this way. The two left guys go straight to this door. Work this door.
Flash out.
Flash. We end up working the room. Room's clear. I wasn't sure if you could see out the back of this window, so I was trying to see, but there's just nothing out here. It's just infinite nothingness. I guess when it has the grid squares, that's how you know, but I didn't because I'm still new. Yeah, these guys push up and they both take their respective door. Once this is kind of secure, then we decide to open this door.
Clear.
As this is about to open, I go ahead and shift this guy back over because I don't like how deep this room gets at this angle. And I ended up being kind of right because there was a guy right there at that weird angle. Pushes into Clear's corner. I see we have our hostage here, but our guy pulling security kills the last guy anyway. That's the end of the mission. All right, Viper's Nest. This one's pretty easy. You got an open courtyard that wraps around like an L around the building, and then the building's right here. So the breach point is, yeah, right over here. So all we're gonna do is bump out, pull some security long. Once we get a good visual, we feel good about it. We just move to the breach point while pulling security. This first guy, we bump him out just a little more to get a better look. You see some more dudes. First man dug that corner just to make sure, and then we snap straight to the breach point. Once again, downloaded the doors are not safe mod, so I do have this guy more in line with the frame, but I probably need to get even more in line, because as you can see, you know, almost half of his body is sticking in the actual threshold of this door. Even in real life, like, we are like in line with this fucking frame, you know, and it gives you kind of more of an angle in, but it's safer than standing in front of that door. So I just gotta get better at that. Like, right where I moved him is right where I need him. Throw that flashbang in, murder this dude, punch in. Two guys go to the right door, two guys go to that back door. I felt good with that room because this bed's over here, so as far as I know, nothing can be back there. Front guys bypass the door so that they can pull security cross coverage on the end of this hallway while these guys work this room. I think there ends up somebody, yeah, somebody's in there. Punch in real quick, dig that corner, clear, fall right in the stack. Remember with hallways, these guys now take their side, and they're gonna do it at the same time. Peek, pause, and then push. This guy ends up lagging behind because I just forgot to tell him to move. That was just a me thing. I did not want him to wait that long.
Good job.
I'm gonna chalk it up to I do this at like 5 in the morning before my kids wake up because it's like the only time I get to play. So fuck off. All right, for Crossfire Alley, kind of have an open space here, 2 buildings on the sides, and then a little alleyway in the middle. Leads to another open area, and then buildings kind of on the, kind of looks like a penis. Anyways, so what I do is we get our diminishing return, and then we punch into this courtyard, and then 2 3-man teams just split to take both of these sides. Kill our guy.
Flash out.
Throw our flashes into our dead space before we push in.
Clear.
Push in. Make our way to the window again. Just just making all the mistakes this episode. So what I do is I push this front guy to this far window. Absolutely not. I have an open window right here, and I know I have it, and I can't even make an excuse because I already have the second guy going to it. So I'm sorry guys, early mornings, whatever you want to blame it on, but just learn from my mistakes. You'll see this guy gets pieced up a little because he should have gone straight to the first window and then let the second guy roll past him to this window, because nobody's really, as far as I know, nobody leans out of windows, and even if they do, this guy should just kind of bump out of the way to go to this window, and then his second man should kind of be out pulling security along, so even if somebody does, they can just shoot his ass. So yeah, you'll see. I have him looking at the window, but then I'm like, maybe my thought process was like, oh, if I don't see anybody, then he can just roll straight to it. But then he saw somebody and I didn't stop it, you know. So I don't even know what I was doing when I did it, but it's fucking wrong, and do better. Anyways. Luckily he's blind firing, so he actually doesn't get shot, but still, very dangerous situation, and it was not handled properly at the end of the day, whether he survived or not.
Clear.
So I leave this guy here while these two get in this room, because there's no other way into this room. They'd have to come this way, and he's already got security here. So he's just going to stay there until these guys push in and get a good little foothold here, and then he can wrap in and do it. That way nobody comes running around with no eyes in this room, you know, unnecessarily. This guy was just pulling security and he decided to open the door for him, so it made my life easier. Definitely, again, should have waited to open this door until I brought this guy back. Because of this little angle. Again, you just have to respect these angles, guys. Like, I'm getting complacent and I'm like, well, nobody's in this corner. Nope, absolutely somebody is. I'm telling you, this game is going to put people at angles where you don't think they're going to be, just because you don't think they're going to be there, and then they're going to shoot you in the side. I tell you, this game has a fucking crazy algorithm or something that does it. So respect these super tight little spots where it's like, no, he actually can't see him if this door opens, so I'm just going to wait. There's no rush. Just wait till he gets here. There's no time limit. If the game doesn't give you a timer, then there's no fucking rush. You know, real life, there could still be a rush. Totally depends. You are getting the HVT, but it's like, dude, in the game, there's no rush. Just take time, get this guy up here, get secured, you know, then open the door and deal with it. Alright, as you can see, this guy got his little diminishing return, cleared it super fast, and then went back to deal with this door. These guys are just holding, I believe, until I finish this side, since I have two teams going at the same time.
Target located.
We see our HVT, so then I pull this guy back to come help him. He's just pulling security on him and out the window. These guys try to open the door. They're pulling security, so they handle it.
Primary target secure.
More people try to come in, but I have a do not pass go sign on this house. So I didn't think, because he has his hands tied behind his back, so I was like, I don't think I can just hop this window and dig out. Maybe I should have just tried it, but I was just like, whatever. So what I end up doing is I just end up tactfully fucking pushing all these guys where they can pull security on all this stuff. I push two guys out here, because we don't need to go clear all this, but there are potential enemies there, so we still have to pull security at all the points where they could possibly come out. So that's all I do, is basically make it safe for the escort to take the HVT back to the beginning. And I absolutely abuse the fact that we don't have to worry about crazy edges of the map. You know, real world, these guys would go all the way back with them. I didn't even notice that guy have a fucking RPG. The dude was about to send it, wasn't he? That's kind of sick. But yeah. You'll see I push these guys out and they just stand there and pull security the whole time. Because as far as I'm tracking with the game, some of the later maps, dudes can come off the edges of the map, but they don't do it this early. So this is the only place bad guys can be now. So I just pull security that way. And then I just have this guy run all the way back. You can see this guy has this door covered. These two have these doors covered. That one has 3. This guy's covering this and this. So nobody's gonna pop out, you know, without getting pieced up. But I'm not gonna make you watch the rest. That's the end of the mission. All right, so for the final mission, Tough Nut Crackers. This one's pretty fun and it goes pretty smooth. What I do is I have these dudes breach the north side here. There's a walkway here and here, a house here, big open area here, and then another house here with a little alleyway between and on the sides. So what I do is I have these guys breach on the north. You'll see the front man's going to push down, treat it like a hallway. The other guys are going to flow across. We're going to do our windows as we're supposed to, and we're just going to do urban movement all the way to the breach point here. And then we push into the house and control it. And then kind of like the mistake that I made earlier, I actually handle it properly this time. I don't have these guys breach this until these guys clear this and get like on the north side of this house, because again, I don't want to unnecessarily expose them to this angle. So what I do is I give them like a good 4-second offset, and then I lob a bunch of grenades because there's a bunch of, again, it's just a big courtyard. So we're gonna let the grenades do some work, and then we put a door charge on this, blast it open once these guys clear it, and then we push across, and then we go to the breach point. There's one down here somewhere. There's one on this house, but yeah, they'll move to that. So let's take a look at what that all looks like. Frags get lobbed. We let those north guys work. I get these security guys out. I get this door charge going.
Placing charge. Tango down.
North guys push in. Again, treat that alley just like a hallway. Bumps across with them. Man rolls on that window. The other two bypass him. Last man falls in. They all fall into the stack. As you can see, there's a lot going on. This door's already open, which makes my life a lot easier. Got this guy pulling rear. These guys are about to push here, and then just like a hallway, front man's gonna push in, bump across, second man's gonna go straight across. Third man is then going to bump in and then push across while the fourth man goes across. And this is so that they alternate and body bunker each other. You'll see how it works. Again, like, don't let the outside trip you. This is just a hallway. Just treat it just like that. So this guy gets his diminishing return because we got that nice open door. Cuts his corner, digs in, full cross coverage. These guys are working their movement towards the breach point. These guys flow across to get this door. At the same time, these guys are going to flow across, holding this open door. There are suiciders in here, and we were able to see that at the beginning of the mission. Again, the way you handle suicide vests is standoff, right? So we don't want to flow straight to this door, get our diminishing return that close to the door. Because I know that there are suicide vests in there, I actually want to maintain my distance, which is why I push them across here to not only plate these guys from this angle, but also to keep their distance as these suicide vests try to run out. And then we're gonna yeet our flashbang from across the hall and push in. Okay, we're not gonna get closer than throw our flashbang. All right. Here we go.
Covering.
I do my go signals kind of late, so it looks ugly, but they do everything they're supposed to correctly. Front man rolls on the window.
Flashbang out.
Everybody rolls around him straight to this door. As you can see, we throw our flashbang across, gets his diminishing return. We punch straight in.
Clear.
This two-man team makes their way up here. I got these guys pulling security on this window, and then this point. And then these guys end up getting the last guy up here. Easy, breezy, beautiful, dead terrorists.